Hey everybody, how you doing? We're back for the final hour of trading today here on Thursday, November the 17th, 2022. Welcome one, welcome all to this last hour. We were down, the markets were negative to start, stayed negative for the first, hour, 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. Then an attempted rally came through starting at about noon Eastern time, and the market reached parity and went positive around 12:30, 1 o'clock this afternoon. But about 2 o'clock this afternoon, it began to falter and we slipped, got back into positive territory and slipped again. We're now off 81 points or so on the Dow. We're down 25 on on 25 on S&P, 76 on Nasdaq. Percentage wise, the Dow's off a quarter of a percentage point. S&P down 0.63, Nasdaq down 0.67. That's where we are right now. Oil having a terrible day, down 377 a barrel at $81.82. So we've come from the low 90s, 20, 92, $93 range just in the last week or so to 81 range. Interesting move there with all the world's problems and issues and tensions. Oil is dropping. Quite phenomenal to see that. We're going to watch to see how, of course, all this plays out as we go on. I think what's happening, my personal opinion, is the realization of an economic slowdown is really beginning to hit the future players, the futures players. And I'm guessing also that a number of futures gamblers, speculators are not as flush with cash as they were maybe a little while ago. And it could well be that crypto is crimping their style. Maybe they're getting cash calls on other futures and derivatives they're playing. I don't know. It just could be a tightening of the market. But I kind of think what really is happening here is that the realization for these players is that the economy is showing signs of a slowdown. Real estate already, now retail, company to company business. Higher interest rates are coming. Higher inflation is happening in Europe and UK. It's coming to America. There's just smart money going, I think I gotta ease up a bit here, because why would you need a lot more oil if you're going to have a lot less business? And therein lies the dilemma here. Going to be really interesting. I heard something the other day that caught my ear. It was something about how people who want to stay at home and they don't want to go to the office would rather work from their houses. These folks are actually good for the environment because they're not driving their own cars, say 20 miles each direction to work. They're not taking mass transit, which of course uses energy. They're not, when downtown, they're not utilizing power there in office buildings and maintaining their homes, heating systems, cooling systems, electrical, so on. They're at home and they're just using their existing home power, whatever, and they're not driving anywhere. They drive less overall throughout the week. You can imagine 5 less days of commuting. In some cases, we're talking people who drive like lightly. They drive 30, 40 miles a day, just not too heavy. That's 150, 200 miles a week. That's 10,000 miles a year that isn't being driven. Now, those folks who drive 30, 40, 50 miles each direction, those longer commutes, yeah, we're talking, 500 miles a week, 25,000 miles a year. I mean, that's a lot of miles. And in a 8-cylinder, 6-cylinder vehicle, that's a lot of gas, even a 4-cylinder, and maintenance and oil and blah, 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 blah. So, kind of interesting how many millions of Americans and Canadians are not commuting as much anymore as they used to. Millions and millions and millions of them. And a lot of these Canadians, Americans, and I'm sure other countries around the world, these folks are not going to go back to work downtown. Like, they will switch employers, or they will become what you guys are becoming, full-time option writers. You're going to go where you go when you want to go at your choice, not when a boss says be here at 7:30 for a meeting at 8. You're not going to be doing that anymore. Interesting. We're down 52 on the Dow, down 20 on S&P, NASDAQ down 63, oil down 376. Tesla, 182 a share, down 485 today. Apple is at 150.26, having a tough time holding 150 and going much above it. It is up 150 today, but we're not going anywhere really. GameStop 27.74, up 60 cents. The high of the day today for GameStop 27.76. We're at or around the high level of the day. Volume 1,690,000. Now you round that up to 1.7 million. Divide that by 4. We're talking 425,000 shares of trading pre-split. We used to do 2 to 3 million a day pre-split all the time, 2 million, 3 million every day. And that was light. We're not even going to do a million here. There's no way we're doing a million. We're not even doing, I don't know if we'll do a 500,000. I really don't know if we can get can we see maybe a half of, I mean, there is nothing going on here. This is 25 to 30% of former trading volume right now on GameStop. It is really getting quiet. SoFi, 541, down 12 cents. HPQ, unchanged. It has battled its way back. HPQ today hit a low of $28.30. It's now $29.30, unchanged on the day. It brought it all the way back at this point. Interesting to see what's going on here. But, we're going to get these fluctuations. This is normal. Welcome to normal life. Amazon down 278 to 94.34. Couldn't hold that 100 level last week, and down we go this week. Home Depot, 649 lower, $308. Cisco having a good day today, up 221 at 46.60 because of those earnings. The street likes what they hear. They're talking about cutting back staff, and it's got all the right ringtones to it. But give it a couple of more days. By next Tuesday, Wednesday, will this feeling persist, or will these shares be back to 42, 43 again? Stay tuned. We'll watch for that. Pfizer up 33 cents at 48.38. Netflix down $11, $294.94. IBM up $1.22 today to 145.74. Microsoft down 30 cents. Vanek Vectors up $1.09. Adobe down $2.30. Goldman down $3.50. Google down $91. Boeing down $71. Moderna down $4.46 to $1.80. Meta Platforms down $2.18. 23andMe is down 13 cents to $3.12. Rocket Lab is $4.49, down 19.5 cents. Matterport is $3.37, down 16. ATIP is at 53.5 cents, down 3.5 cents. This is probably all-time low territory here. SmartRent down 12.5 to 269.5. Spire down 12.5 cents to 132.5. Sextera down 9.5 cents, trading at 203.5 with today's low, all-time low of 194. So the stock has bounced up about 9 cents from its all-time ever low. Royal Caribbean down 220 today to 57.94. Bed Bath Beyond down 9 cents. Carvana's down 41. Robinhood is up 16 cents to 9.48. BlackBerry down a dime. Target is holding a gain of 4.85. It started as low as 152 today, 152.72. It's now 160.34. A week ago, on the 15th, 2 days ago, 180 a share. Right now, 160. $20 haircut on Target. JP Morgan down 78 cents. Costco down 6.04. Walmart down 54 cents. Disney down 2.74 to 91.21. Last week, the 14th of November, 3 days ago, $96. October 31, $106. So for the month of November already, 106 to 91. Yeah, that's $15 haircut. That's not good. That's a sign there's issues here. NVIDIA down 262. American Airlines down 13 cents to 13.94. AMC and those ape shares, they're down 21 cents combined. Snowflake 147 down 6.89. And there you have it. There's a breakdown of some of our most followed stocks. 93-point drop on the Dow, 90-point drop on NASDAQ, 28-point drop on S&P. and the S&P is no longer the leader of the downdraft. It is NASDAQ, 0.82 of a percentage point, 0.72 for S&P, 0.31 for the Dow. GameStop right now, 27.64, ahead by 51 cents, with the high print on GameStop today of $27.76. So we're about 15 cents below the high trade of the day on GameStop. The volume is really light, 1.6 odd, 1.7 million. Not much going on here. There you have it. Dow just broke 100 on the downside. There you go. Mirko, Algebras with next to no volume on GameStop. Is it up 50 cents, only $2 pre-split, but up? Does that simply mean no one is selling? Well, to make a trade, you got to have both parties come to the fore. And if this stock was perceived to be super cheap, discounted stock, you'd have a lot of volume coming in to buy it. If this stock was perceived to be way overpriced, you'd have panic sellers dying to get out. But we're up 48 cents. So we don't have a panic sell wave. We don't have a panic sell wave. But we certainly don't have a panic buy wave either. It's not like there's 100 million shares wanted and the buyers are waiting at 25 to buy it. There are no bids there of any significance. There's just nothing behind this market right now. And because GameStop has this nasty habit of not speaking in any way and not talking about its future and its potential and anything else, and you got a chairman who's literally he never makes a public appearance. I mean, the guy is a really private guy. You haven't got a promoter. Now, in the case of Elon Musk, you've got the opposite. You got a guy who's always in the media, world's richest man, and so on. But I mean, could Cohen or someone on his behalf be a front man for this company? You'd like to think so, but it's not happening. So we're left to be on our own. 27.63, 27.61 right now is where I see this stock, down about 15 cents from the high of the day. SoFi, 536, down 17 right now. Another little dip there. Good afternoon, folks from Coyote. Thank you, everybody, for these thumbs ups you're already throwing at us. I appreciate that. My take, Adam says, on the GameStop run-up is that investors saw the abbreviation FTX and in some news article and said, oh, there's shiny, I'm in, laugh out loud. Coyote, we've been through this dozens of times with GameStop, and they always say no one's selling, and guess what happens? And I mean, literally always happens. Selling comes. Sean and Wendy, God's amazing. Good afternoon, family. Thank you for being here all. Thank you for joining us. It's great that you're with us today, all of you, for the afternoon session, the last hour of the day today, as we close up this market. The Dow now down 125. So it's dropping a little more. We have 49 thumbs up, so I thank you for that very much. I gotta wonder, oil under $82 a barrel after being over the 90s the other week. We're just not getting a real convincing dollars jumping into the oil futures to run this thing up. I mean, the hope, as I recall, the hope was that this stock would take this commodity oil would take a shot into the hundreds, because the talk was that it could go to 150 a barrel with oil shortages this winter. And now that it's becoming apparent that the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates at least another half a point sometime in December, and maybe a half a point in January, and then maybe a quarter point in February, March, we're going to be up another 1 percentage point, 1.5 percentage point on the U.S. interest rates, 5.5% to 6% on the Fed funds rate. That puts treasuries at 6.5%, depending on which expiry you're looking at. That cannot help the rest of the planet for them to keep their interest rates down. There's no way they're going to be able to not raise rates along with American rates. Because if you're a country that refuses to raise your interest rate with the Americans, what ends up happening is that your currency gets completely crushed. It just drops in value. And everything you're importing into your country may well be priced in American funds, especially oil. food like grains, wheat and barley and whatever. You're going to import and export with American dollars, and you'll convert to your currency when you can. But when the American currency goes up, that means prices to you go up if you are losing money against the American dollar, and that is an absolute certainty. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and there's no way around it. Brian, buy, sell. GameStop is green on a red day. It's all business as usual. Coyote loves GameStop and will hold his shares forever and sell his covered calls. Everyone loves GameStop. There it is. Coyote, I don't care either way. I'm just telling you that we've seen this 100 times in the past 2 years, and it always ends the same. Selling comes. Otherwise, we would not be where we are right now. That's right. Zach, I am number 44 on your thumbs up meter, Bruce. JR, down she goes. Mirko, I'm with you. Just wondering why it's not in the 20 range already. Bama Babe, I will always love GameStop because it was the catalyst that changed my financial life. Just not quite in the way I thought. And there, that's true. We're down 139 on the Dow right now. GameStop 27.60, up 47 cents. Coyote, Mirko, well, people may not be selling now or today, but it will come tomorrow, next week, but it will come. Coyote, it always does. Coyote, Bama Babe, same thing. I'm with you. Yeah, we're down 141, 142 on the Dow here as we slip along. We don't have a catastrophic loss going on in the stock exchange, but the table is getting set here for some serious pullbacks. It is getting set. We've been topping out the last few days since last Friday, ever since that Thursday 1,200 point shot out of nowhere. And all this hopeful, wishful thinking that inflation in the United States has been beaten back and that'll make the rest of the world calm down as well. It is just not happening. European countries are importing items into their countries at much reduced currency values, and hence why their inflation rate is upwards of 11-12%. UK's inflation rate is destined to go higher because the likelihood is the pound is going to back off again from here. This is a dead cat bounce for the British pound right now. Looking at the currency exchange right now, the euro is at 103.6. Remember, this was 115, 120 months ago. The pound is at 118.53, and there was supposed to be an impenetrable wall of support at 130, and it went down to 103 in months. This, again, can give up another 10 cents a share to 10 cents against the dollar to 108 without even blinking. It's bad news. It is just bad news. The only good news for Europe between the Eurozone and the UK itself, the only good news is that because currencies against the US dollar are so much lower, it means that the cost of UK goods and the cost of European imports to the US are lower because Americans pay American dollars to buy Benzes, Volkswagens, and anything from the UK. And anywhere else in Europe. But this isn't good for those guys. Those guys are having a tough time buying American-made goods, Canadian-made goods, or anything priced in American money. That is the issue, and this is not going to end well, as they say. Anyway, there you have it. Let's see what we got going here. JR, rewriting from above, Uncle Bruce, I have 10 U.S. Steel 18s, January 20, what to do. They're in the money right now. Stock price 23.63 as I write. Well, you're going to have to do a rollover. I mean, if you're sitting on 18s and the stock's at 23, hello. Common sense would say start searching, start shopping, look for February, March contracts that might be 19s or 20s and at least move a couple of bucks up in value. If anything else, January 20, you don't have a contract expiring shortly, but you're in the money now, $5. So you want to move that strike price up, I would think. Zach, I also owe GameStop for all of this new knowledge, says Zach. It's the catalyst for so much. Constantine, I'm the 53rd thumbs up, buddy. Thank you. JR, thought today maybe was the big pullback day. It still can be. I mean, we can still lose a lot of ground here. We're down 158 now in the Dow. Just in the last 20 minutes, we've lost 100 plus points, but it doesn't look like today's going to be a real big bloodbath day, but it's setting the table for one. Definitely the market is priming for lower moves. I think that's what I find confusing today, says Gowdy. Feds say they aren't done and aren't seeing the results they want so far, and the market likes that. it's just resistant. The market players are being dragged into this, kicking and screaming, whether they like it or not. Market will rocket to an unsourced rumor of Fed pivot, and when the Fed squashes that, they ignore it, trying to figure the logic there beyond cognitive dissonance. Credit Savage of Wall Street, dead cat bounce making me money. I bought 100 GameStop at 26.51 yesterday. I sold at 26.50 covered call for January, and I got 5.14 for it. On the pop today, I rolled over to an April 23, 27.50, and that got me up 150 more for it. High of the day. Lovely, sweet little move there. Another late afternoon sell-off, says ADH. Susan shops around. I am number 61 for Bruce. Thank you. Credit Savage, 275 move, and I did nothing in a day, all while I made a lunch for my little munchkins. How about that? Life is good. We're down 158 on the Dow, down 34 on S&P, down 107 on NASDAQ, which is 0.96 of a percentage point, 0.88 for S&P, and 0.47 for the Dow. The Dow's half as bad off as it is on the NASDAQ, so the Dow should be down 310 right now, 320, and it might join it, it might not. We'll see what's going on. We'll find out. 27.62 on GameStop, down up now 47 cents on the session. Tesla 181.35. Those of you sitting on Tesla calls, you've written 180s, 190s, 200s, 210s. This stock is not going anywhere. Your contract values are slowly depreciating out. But I still think that there's more pressure on the Tesla stock. There's going to be pressure on its margins, and there's pressure on its founder, its chairman, its top guy, and there might be stock for sale. Constantine, however the market goes, we have Uncle Bruce on our side. Yay! JR, go figure. Conspiracy theories, rumors, more conspiracy theories, weird politics, more conspiracy theories. Who knows what makes the market move? Conspiracy theories. There you go. Let's make money on those and write call options and enjoy the conspiracy theory premium shrinkage. Yeehaw! You gotta love that. Apple is only up 99 cents. Tesla 181.25. GameStop 27.60 now, down 40, is up 46 cents on the day. SoFi 537 down 16 cents. HPQ down 4 cents. Amazon down 2.93. Pulse Guitar, Ryan is saying, Uncle Bruce, I watched class number 1. And that was a lot of info. Honestly, since I had a basic understanding of calls and puts, I wasn't sure what exactly I'd learned, but I wanted to go through classes in order. My friend, it just keeps on coming. Number 2, 3, 4, 5, enjoy. But that was a ton of great in-depth info. And now I have a better understanding of how these contracts work and gain and lose value. We covered a lot in class number 1. A lot of people, they think, oh, I know everything about calls and puts. I'll just start watching class number 7. Not a good idea. My recommendation to any of you who want to learn how to write options and ultimately quit your day jobs, you really want to take control of your life. Take the real, take the whole course and nothing but the course. It's not that I have put 14 classes together in a masterful, mastermind way to get you all the way to, from 0 to 100 miles an hour. But each class, so what's happening here is each one goes by, I am reacting more and more to you guys who ask me questions again and again and again as you become more knowledgeable, because this channel's viewers are completely different than the way they ask me questions today than they were a year ago or a year and 3 quarters ago. The kind of questions I get now on option writing are much more detailed. And that's because of the amount of time we spend together here and these classes that I've put together. Because remember, almost everybody over here that you see up and down this chat room over here, this little chat bar, these are members of the channel. Their names are highlighted in green. They've got a little avatar beside their name. They're all members of this channel. It is entirely likely that virtually every single one of these guys has been to my classes live as they were created. And so these folks are a real big reason why the classes are so detailed, because the number of questions I get and the amount of info I start shooting back gets more detailed as each class goes by. And a lot of people have commented to me that they're learning stuff in class 1, 2, and 3 that they never knew. They never knew this info. They thought they knew everything about options. That's the thing about this business. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. It's quite amazing. 164 on the down dip. We just lost another 10 points while I was yapping here. Down go these markets. Coyote conspiracy premiums. There we go. Susan Shop's about. Bruce, did you help JR out with his U.S. Steel position? I gave him some advice on what he should be doing. We'll see how it works out for him. I don't follow U.S. Steel in detail. Alex, I am thumbs up 67. Thank you. But Paul's Guitar, 2 hours and money well spent. Looking forward to class number 2, probably next month. And the beauty about the number 1 class is you can watch it a second time, anytime you want, a week or 2 from now. If you're going to get ready for class number 2 next month, let's say, the week before you watch class number 2, you might watch class number 1 again. And then a couple days later, boom, you now watch class number 2. And then when you're ready for class 3, whenever, you rewatch number 2 and away you go. That's a great way to make it work. Splair, I started with class number 2, took the ones I need in the actual situation, and now the next classes will fill the gaps if I rewatch them all in total. JR, heading down, might be able to break even or come out a small winner and roll. Stake bid is in. All right, Splair, but I'm already lurking 1 year before I started. It's maybe a way if you don't have a lot of dough. Splair's been here a long time, and we met in Amsterdam together at the Starbucks in the Amsterdam rail station, and we had a lovely visit, and we covered a lot of different things together, and it was a lovely visit. And that's the avatar you see of us there. Whenever you see Splair's comments, you see me in the background. That's him and I together in Amsterdam having a wonderful time there. That was pretty cool, and it's great to see how far Splair has come down the highway. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to have to blow my nose and sneeze again. It's been a great ride, and the amount of knowledge that Splair is grabbing now is incredible. It's really ramping up, and I can see a year from now that Splair will be fully self-employed, managing his own funds, and getting ready to start traveling and trading while on the road. He's going to see the world. He's going to enjoy the world at his pace, and I'm excited for him, as I am for many, many of you here. So many of you here, your lives are going to change dramatically in the next year. You've changed out, or you've built a brand new foundation for your financial lives. You've really changed the foundation completely. You are no longer guessing what the market is going to do. You're no longer listening to market gurus tell you what to get into. You're not listening to friends at work about the hottest rumor on the stock market. You guys have now taken control of your positions, and you have now altered your accounts so that you can begin the journey of reaping and hauling in cash on a consistent basis to live on and grow on and retire on. And so many of you, were just hoping to make a few dollars on the side and stop the bleeding in your accounts, not be uncertain, and also get rid of the nervousness that you guys were worried about. So many of you were panicking about every little headline in the market. It was really getting to you guys. And you're now much more calm. You're a group of much calmer people here. For some people who come to this channel for the first time, they stumble across us. They get referred to us by YouTube because of your thumbs ups. Friends tell people to watch, relatives. They come in here and they can't believe how boring this thing is, how boring this channel is. I'm not jumping up and down doing headstands, and I don't have graphs and charts and red and green arrows flashing and graphs everywhere. It's like there's a guy talking to a camera. What could I possibly learn with this? And then they realize after a while, oh, he's the instructor. He's the guy who does those classes. And then he's on the air live every day talking about what was talked about on those classes in the real market, in real life, with what the market is actually doing. This isn't done by most internet instructing type channels. You get an instructor, you watch a class for 2 hours, one of 20 or 30, you pay your $5,000, and you never get to talk to this person other than maybe an email if you're lucky. Here, at least you get to engage with me in person live, and we talk about actual trades you're doing on actual options that we've been talking about in the classes. It's a whole different ballgame. If you stick around this class long enough, you get addicted to the folks that are here. You get to follow what they're doing. You start to follow your own ideas, your own stock trades, your own option trades, and it's a lot more entertaining. And it's a lot more interesting because you got real money being made here by real people. It's pretty good stuff. Thank you all. What else? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, it was a great time, and it made me a lot more. Gave me a lot more to think about after I saw him for real. Yes, that is the plan, sir. I'm going to make a bunch of money and travel. That's what's happening. Constant, hopefully in a few years, I will reach Splair's level. There you go. Credit Savage of Wall Street. Number one, Uncle Bruce is speaking facts. Anyone can see videos from 2 years ago and just look at the types of questions that were asked. Compared to now, there's been a profound change. Olivia, making logical investing decisions instead of emotional ones. Rock on. Yes. Splair, I think somehow he means me. He means me as well. I was really panicking. I calmed him down. I've calmed a lot of people down. That's what we do. Mr. Premium, I remember the show that all thumbs ups were dedicated to Splair. That's right, because we care. DQ, wait, there's a guy flashing arrows. Sign me up. The Credit Savage, when it comes to option strategies and rollbacks, rollover, straddles, and such, I firmly believe that anyone of the original crew on here can go to a brokerage house and feel comfortable talking dollars with these guys. Mirko, hey, Bagel family, short off topic. Changed my picture. We have a new family member. Look at that awesome stuff. Oh, beauty. That's a beauty. Bobby, people on the sidelines, I've spent a year only writing on one contract while learning. You just have to write to fully understand it. Start with one contract and go from there. Exactly. Splair, Mr. Premium, yeah, that was a great show, but not so great like the show where Uncle Bruce started Yoko on, or the chair story. Mirko, nice whoosha, big sweetie. Deuce Caboose, our pup is on her way out. Nick, hey everybody, 78 thumbs up. DQ, Mirko, awesome. Nick Demorier, I'm here. The market can go down now. Karim, oh, Uncle Bruce, when a stock is moving up in a rally like the past few days, you roll up. Is the option price inflated by book value or premium, or both because of the high upside volatility? Well, sometimes options will tend to grow in premium because the market is moving, more people are getting in. Sometimes good news comes out, earnings, what have you, and the stock takes a run, and a lot of speculators want to get in on options, and they start to bid up these contracts. Next thing you know, 30, 40 cents, pops along, and all of a sudden you can write a call for a nice higher premium than you could 2 days earlier, even $1 ahead of the market. That can happen. Deuce, DQ, it's all good. She's a great pound dog and has lived well with us. Credit Savage, congratulations, Mirko, on the new doggy. Splair, Constantine, just watch the show from early this year and compare with now. You will get there much faster when you started already with the classes. DQ, Deuce Kabuski still sucks. DQ. Nick, the best story is the Skoda story by far. Deuce Caboose says, yep. Splair, I was horrible early this year in case of stocks. The Credit Savage, like I tell everyone when they ask what class is the best and what should they focus on, start with class number one. Start with 100 shares of any stock and begin writing covered calls. Learn patience. There you go. There you go. Mirko, thanks, guys. Nick, it was a lot of DQ. Laugh out loud. It's not what I meant. DQ, it's true, but not my intent. JR, I'm partial to Tony. Wherever did he go? And Nick, Mirko, that's right. We're holding a 113 loss. We were down 160 a few minutes ago. Now we're at 113. Now I see it at 120 again. The S&P down 30 points and NASDAQ down 94. And what else is all happening here? We're down 388 on oil at 81.71 now. That's where we got that going on. We've got Tesla at 181.34, Apple's at $150.04, hanging on to $150. We got right now at 150 exactly, and we're 23 minutes from the close today. That's where we're at right now. Apple down is up 121 at 150 on the button. GameStop 27.44 right now, up just 30 cents. It just started backing off in the last 20 minutes as well. SoFi 536 down 17 cents. HPQ holding on to a 9-cent gain. There it is. And Slayer, isn't class number 1 about buying calls and puts? I think so. I think it's all about calls and puts. I go into a lot of background about how they were created, where they came from, and then number 2, we talk about writing calls and puts. Each class kind of builds on each other. BW rolled out of my GameStop Poor Man Covered Call December 16, 25. I paid $4.80 each. Then I sold 2 April 2023s for the 2750s, 250 higher. Some sucker just paid me $6.80 each. Arms are folded, watching the sky for Rugman now. Now tell me more stories, Uncle Bruce. Isn't that beautiful? A $2 cash injection increase on these calls. And you moved up $250 in strike, which is $250 again per contract. So each contract just added to BW's wealth meter $450 potentially. And he's now sitting on 2750s that are out of the money. Those $6.80 contracts have no book value at all, only time value between now and April. Not bad. Sitting around for 5 or so months and watching $6.80 disappear into your pocket. Oh, you got to love that. Here we go. DQ, come on, Tesla. You can go lower than this. Nick Dumouriez, Splair, yes, but it's really more about the basics of options. BW, Splair, correct on number 1. Deuce Caboose, Uncle Bruce, what news needs to break to turn growth back on? I don't want to move to the bridge right now. What needs growth to come back on? We're going to need substantially lower inflation. We're going to need a lower interest rate environment. We're going to need sort of a stabilization in pricing out there that people can count on. We're going to need demand to pick up for certain goods and services and items and what have you. There's a lot. I mean, there's not one thing. There's a ton of things, including the outbreak of war in Europe. We don't kind of need that either. JR, BW, who are you going to call? Deuce Caboose. Is Ukraine relevant anymore? Very much so. Square. Okay, I was asking some of the basics probably here during July or August. BW, Rugman, Polith. Yoink. Yoinketh away, Rugman, please. We're down 112 now on the Dow. We're off 28 on S&P. We're down 89 on NASDAQ. That is where we're at. Russia just launched another missile barrage on Ukraine as the first snows begin to fall. There you go. What can I say? There you go. Interesting stuff. See how all this works out going forward. What else is happening here? Thank you all for being here. 181.68 on Tesla right now. Thank you for the thumbs ups. We're at 86 thumbs ups registered now for this show, 14 more, and we enter triple digit territory for the thumbs up meter. And I thank you all for helping me get to that, as you always do. We've got Apple at 150.25, GameStop 27.33, now up just 19 cents. The low today was 27.15. The high was 26.15 was the low. Pardon me. 26.15 was the low. 27.76 was the high. We're much closer to the high level than the low level, but we seem to have kind of, stopped out here. We'll see if this can hold or gain, or will it collapse. And what about the Dow? We topped out at 115 this afternoon. That's when we hit the highs. and it's been downhill ever since. And we're not at the low of the day. That's certainly not the case, but we are lower. We're now as low as we were around 11:45 this morning Eastern time. So we've given up a lot of ground here since this afternoon to kind of reach back to this level. The low of the day, 33,239 is the Dow low. 239. We're at 450. So we're still 200 above the lows of the day. We're in the red. We were in the red this morning, over 300 points, maybe even over 400 for a while. The question is, do we revisit that now in this last 18 minutes, any of it, or are we going to peter out, plus or minus 100 points on the day? Is this it? That is the question. That's what we're watching for. Well, we'll see what happens. I do not see a massive reason to go long stock into the expiry day. Tomorrow is the third Friday of November. It is the busiest, most active option day for the month of November coming up. There'll be at least $2 trillion of contracts expiring and other entities. So we'll see how this goes. Next month, December, the third Friday, will be a quadruple witching hour. I'm sure it'll be a triple or a quadruple. And that's going to be crazy, absolutely insanity with tax loss selling at its zenith. It's going to be really crazy a month from now. So more uncertainty coming into this market, more reason to not be long on long shot bets, more reason to be writing calls and enjoying depreciation. That's what it's all about right now, as far as I'm concerned. Alrighty, we're down 96 on the Dow. We're at 181.97 on Tesla. Apple at 150.07 now. GameStop 27.45. That is it where we're at right now. What else we can do here? Missing some of these comments. They're just slipping by me here. It's like the markets are sitting on a razor's edge, and it could go off either side. But of course, we wanted to go straight down, says BW. Bobby, GameStop leaked out 30 cents since the start of the hour, I think. Deuce caboose. That seems like a tall order. Deuce is going to be deuced. Coyote, deuce caboose, seeing as the market nearly did something to itself 2 days ago when that missile hit Poland, I would say yes, it's still seen as relevant. Suddenly, Deuce is spreading fake news to get the market higher with a high amount of cash paid to the famous news companies. Would be fancy after that question. As Paul's guitar, yes, Blair. Class 1 has history. Call, put, buy, sell, info, examples of option leverage versus stock, how contracts are valued, gain, loss, expectation, change of value, bid and ask, what to set, market makers. Boy, I covered a lot of stuff back there, didn't I? I should charge more for my classes. I'm teaching you a lot. Spulse, jam-packed with info, man. Deuce caboose, I could always rent a bunk at Grandma Caroline's, but that seems worse than Under the Bridge with DQ and Michael. Bobby, Deuce, we can all start a Motown band Under the Bridge at a burn barrel. Splair, I'm somehow still struggling if tomorrow will be a Bloody Friday when the people or entities calls expire. Adam DeMonico, congrats, Mirko, on the new one. Deuce, Bobby, I have no musical talents. Guys, choir didn't work out. I'll just be a groupie. Splair, a month from now, will it be crazy, or next week? What's going to happen? Adam, random thought. How do you think Rugman lures the people onto his cape? It's irresistible. It's just, they take off the shoes. They rub their toes in it. Oh, it's just irresistible. The shag carpeting cape. Oh, it's so soft to the touch. Muffin Top, says Bobby. DQ, what you burning to stay warm? ATIP shares. Coyote, BW, it sure does feel like that, as if it will break hard in one direction soon. Brian, Uncle Bruce, I watched class number 12 the other day, and I thought it was funny. The price of GameStop was at $118, and the SPACs were in the $10, $12 range. If only we knew the future. Splair, by the way, thanks to answering the class number 1 question. Coyote, 2021 Uncle Bruce was a fountain of knowledge. Pulse Guitar, Smiling. BWDQ. Yep. I personally think there's a lot of huge institutions, including big tech companies that threw a bunch of money into FTX, and they're all hosed. We as retail won't hear anything for months. Deuce Caboose. DQ burn, dude. She's burnt. BW Coyote. Whoops. Credit Savage. I sold 1,000 Matterport to help with the tax loss harvesting. Between the wife and I, we are at around 6 figures just selling covered calls. GameStop has been a big reason, and obviously Uncle Bruce and the folks, I'm here. Thank you. There you go. JR, I have the best of both worlds. Subbing for high school. I get to take my bid ask iPad, watch my options, set stink bids, smile when I hear cha-ching, and the students sit and do their work. Kids are sitting in that class and thinking to themselves, what a loser that guy is behind that desk. A substitute teacher. He's not even good enough to be a regular teacher. What a loser. In the meantime, the teacher up there is scoring on covered calls. Looking at those kids going, you kids are a bunch of losers. You have no initiative, no drive. If you only knew what I'm sitting on. You gotta love this. Oh, this is funny. JR, can I do this tomorrow? There was a question to you, Uncle Bruce. When is the quadruple witching hour? You mentioned the other Friday would be more interesting than the one tomorrow. I don't know for sure how many contracts expire next quarter, but the end of the year is the end of the fourth quarter. So we'll have futures expiring, options expiring, probably currency futures expiring, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll hear all about it. We'll let you know. Bid and ask iPad is a favorite term of mine. Coyote says, DQ, I'd love to hear that Elon boss Twitter with FXT. That would be fun. Coyote, very clever. TJ, DQ, that would be hilarious. Just sitting in the front there, watching the students do their assignments while you're watching your market, putting in orders. Getting paid to sit there and trade your account. Now, this is a double win if I've ever seen one. You got to love that. Pulse Guitar, bid ask, iPad, level. All this time I thought the joke was big S, iPad like iPhone S. Credit Savage, JR, I will have to be a close second there. I stay home with my 3 kids, cook for them, play with them, change diapers, and laugh or cry all day at the same time as I make money and sell or buy back covered calls. How about that? DQ, it's bid ask iPad. Man, I hear what I want to, I guess. So probably next month, you mean, because shortly you were saying next week, and then later I think twice next month. Yeah, and we got tomorrow. We got the options expiring for the third Friday here, November, and then a month from now, third Friday of December, 16th of December, the big one is going to happen there. So we got lots of action between now and then. Lots. DQ, well, it wasn't always that. There you go. Well done, everybody. Making it work for you. That's the name of the game. We have 11 minutes left in our session. The Dow is trying a rally. We're up 41 points right now, but the S&P's down 18 and the NASDAQ down 51. The Dow's down 0.11, but the S&P and NASDAQ are down 0.46, so they're still behind here. Oil down 371, no recovery coming here at all. Not on oil, that's for sure. Let's see. Brian, Credit Savage, sounds like you are happy you found Uncle Bruce and the Bagel Gang. Fool of a took. JR, I teach middle and high school, but I can only check on the market every once in a while because each class is 40 people, and these damn kids are crazy. Laughing out loud. DQ, Jazz, iPad. I'm not sure what any of this means. So much fun. Oh, gosh. I remember there were certain times in high school we would get substitute teachers for a class, and you after a while you knew what their game, how they worked. And some of them were very good teachers, and some of them were lazy as hell, and they would just let you do homework on your other classes. And I took that advantage of that time to get all my homework done, so I had nothing to worry about tonight at the end of the school day. I loved it. That helped a lot. Let's see. This player, JR, don't you want to be my teacher? I would love the lesson with you when the phone can be on my desk as well, but you would have to study older students for work education. DQ, freaking Tesla says DQ. It is 182.81. Kent, fool of a took, JR. This is why I homeschooled the kid. That's why this kid learns stuff here. Miraculous. I was today years old when I realized fool of a took is from LOR. Credit Savage of Wall Street, Brian, dude, I have been making money while relaxing on the beach in Waikiki or hanging out in a pool drinking a mimosa at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills. Life ain't bad around here, that's for sure. JR, I won't do junior high anymore. 28 years is enough, says JR, and I only sub at the better high schools here. There is one high school where everybody, literally everybody, is on the university track. There you go. Yeah, I remember my daughter at Palm Desert High School. She was in those AP classes, one after the other, and it was challenging, but she really enjoyed it. BW, JR, are you still allowed to wing a piece of chalk across the room at somebody not paying attention? I think Uncle Bruce had that happen to him a number of times in his past. Lorraine, good luck to middle school. I prefer high school. They are more mature. Coyote DQ, I feel you, man. Adam, tomorrow my GameStop cover calls expire. $24 strike. I'm probably not going to roll over, but Uncle Bruce, do you think a rollover is worth it on the last day? Oh, for sure. You definitely want to do a rollover. Even if you buy back your 24s here and write 24s for next week or the week after or the week after or the month after, take in more money. Write the 24s again and just take in more money and sit on the same position. Just take the cash. Grab money. What are you waiting for? JR, no, I use a dry eraser marker these days. Chalk, dust, cough, cough. No, thank you. That's so 70s, so 60s. Deuce Caboose, I subbed middle school PE when I was home from college one summer. I never let them win. Kids need to be taught to lose, and losing 101 was in session. Brian, I'm trying to buy back my GameStop January 2025s, which I sold for $470. I want to buy back for $620 and then sell again at $27.50 for $740, April 23rd. There you go. Brian, I like that move. Coyote, Adam, 100% roll. Coyote, my opinion. Larry Titus, I'm later than usual, but I'm here and I'm number 95 today, Bruce. We got 6 minutes to go. Fool of a took. I much prefer high school too, but my district does K6 and 7 to 12. It's inner city and very challenging. JR Duskabuski laughing out loud. Yes, yes, indeed. Kent, Palm Desert High School is still a great school, but there is a huge drug problem there right now. Lots of kids with lots of money, and it's not always such a good thing. It's too bad. It was different. Well, it's always been different. When hasn't it been different? But yeah, our daughter really took to the AP. She came from a private school for grades 7 and 8 before going to high school. And the private school was known as Marywood, which doesn't exist anymore. It's now merged with another private school in the Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage area. And that private school, the principal, the first little spiel he gives you if you're bringing your child there for potential enrollment, don't bring your kid here unless your child is going to college. If you just want your child to get through high school and do whatever, you're wasting your money coming here, because we are focused on everybody graduating and getting accepted into college from this school. I love that attitude a lot. Everyone did. Alex, Bruce, I need some advice. I sold one HBQ May 23 expiry, a $27 strike. I got $410 for it. I want to roll up, but limited dates on the option chain. I'd have to roll to January 24 or for more cash and a higher strike. Fold my arms or should I pull the trigger is the question. Okay, so it's a $27 HBQ. The stock's at $29.40. It's up a dime today. I would not do anything. You got $410 for it. If you get exercised, you're paid $31.10. Stock's at $29.40. Don't do a thing right now. Just sit back. Because in the next couple of weeks, what's going to happen, Alex, is you're going to see more contracts get created. So we'll get more months created in the next few weeks and month. So chillax. You got plenty of time here. You got a lovely premium here. You're doing fine. I wouldn't worry about it. The contract is only worth $240. and you got 410 for it. No matter what it trades at, you're doing great. All right. For now, you're all right. Paul, I feel like Credit Savage is over there living the selling sunset lifestyle. Deuce Caboose, it's a lot of fun to dunk on 13-year-olds. 4 minutes to go, everybody. Gowdy, Deuce, those kids asked me how to cross multiply. I laced my sneakers up and asked them, which one of y'all little freaks is multiply? Then I dunked on him. Munamo, thumbs up. Fool of a tuck. Coyote's laughing. He's laughing. JR, again, laughing out loud. Coyote, they need it. My older brother whooped my ace on the court for years. He worked my ass. He whipped my ass on the court. Okay. BW Brian, trying to one up my 680s. Get him if you can at 710. Kent Downey was the best. I loved him. Yeah, Vince Downey was the name of our headmaster, and he was fantastic. That private school that we sent our daughter to was expensive to put your kid in there, and we barely came up with enough money every year to get her in there. But my wife was a big volunteer there, big time, and they loved her for that. Oh God, did they love her for that? Because so many of the folks who had kids in that school were very well to do, and they had volunteer stuff going on all over the place, and they just didn't have time for another volunteer thing. But in Jennifer's case, she went over to that school every day, dropped the Jennifer Jr. off, and then stayed at the school as a volunteer mom and helped the teachers. Oh gosh, Vincent Downey could not thank her enough, not enough for everything she did for that school. Gowdy, Kent, it's that way here also. A very wealthy private high school here has a serious drug problem. They're worried about us in public schools. But we didn't have any money for drugs while rich kids had plenty. BW, DCS lessons in plain 101. Brian, 2 minutes to go. BW, no one is selling me a contract for 620, even though they are at bid at 605. Maybe tomorrow. Kent, Gowdy, so true, sad, but true. Alex, thanks. I'm chillaxing as instructed. BW, Brian, you should be able to buy them back cheaper tomorrow and then maybe wait till next week to get April 23s. False guitar. Oh, yeah, Alex. Was also touched on how many contracts there are in existence and the frequency at which they're created via market makers, which really alleviates the panic trigger pull syndrome. Brian, BW, funny because earlier today the bid was like 540. I'm in no rush. Folding my arms. In class number one, Manya says Paul's guitar. Deuce Caboose. Uncle Bruce, good to hear about your daughter's private schooling. I went to a crap public school, so my wife and I breaking the mold and sending her private. Friggin' expensive, though. Yeah, we lucked out. We had her in a private school in the Cayman Islands, public school in Calgary before we went to the Cayman Islands, then the private school in the Rancho, but then a public school for high school. That was the deal we made her, and she loved it. Kent, off to meet the kid at the golf course. See you in the AM. You bet. Bye, Kent. Take care. It was an interesting time. Bobby, it's a flat day. Shrinkage. What can I say? 159. We've got a minute to go. The Dow's down 9 points. S&P down 14. NASDAQ down 47. We're not going anywhere today. Credit Savage. Uncle Bruce, I did it again. That GameStop 2750 contract for June. High of the day, 710 today. That's me. Let's see if I can keep that till the close. Right on. Larry Titus is ringing the bells. The session is over, and we're down about 3 points on the Dow. They might have even eked out a computer gain. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait for a few minutes for all the final trades to get processed. Alex, Pulse Guitar, cheers, fella. I've not been stuck like this before due to a lack of contracts. Just need to fold my arms. DQ, thank you, Larry Titus. Credit Savage, sorry, not June, April. JR, just bought back 10 HPQ 25s. I sold them for $635, bought at $490. Time to roll. Deuce Caboose, all my private schools friends were leaps ahead of me. But I'm also dumb. What can I say? Yeah, our daughter did very well in the private school, really well. There were only 14 kids in the class, a graduating class of the 8th grade. Then in grade 9, she was nervous going into high school. She was very nervous. And the night before high school was to start, the public high school experience, the two of us went out to the pool together. It was about 7:30 in the evening, 8 o'clock in the evening. I said, well, let's go to Dad's office, the hot tub. Let's head over there and sit there and have a chat. And I just reminded her that tomorrow's your first day of high school. Guess what? It's everybody's first day of high school tomorrow. All the grade 9 kids, they're all there for the very first time, just like you. And none of them know what's going to happen. And I can tell you one thing that will definitely happen and one thing that will definitely not happen. The one thing that will happen is you will finish by tomorrow night, you will finish your first day of your 9th grade of high school. First day will be done. But what will not be done the entire year? You're only going to do day 1 tomorrow. So even if you screw it up, you got the rest of the year to fix it. You're not going to screw it up because everyone in there is in the same boat you are. They're hoping they can make friends. They're hoping they can fit in. They're hoping that they don't get lost between classes. They're hoping they got okay teachers. Everybody's got the same issue as you have. And the next day, we had a little session. Let's go to my office and tell me, how did your first day go? And she went, oh, Dad, it was a piece of cake. I said, why was it a piece of cake? Why wasn't it anything difficult? Oh, Dad, the kids in high school are completely different than the ones in the private school. So what way? Well, in the private school, we had to, if we didn't get A's and B's, there was something wrong with us. I mean, we weren't applying ourselves. In high school, oh my God, there's 1,400 of us in grade 9. 1,400 of us in grade 9. And a lot of these kids don't want to be there. They're already hating the fact that they're there. And the number of kids that expect to get A's is a very small number that actually are here for that. And I'm one of them. And she says, what the teachers told us we're going to be studying, I've already read this stuff in English. I've already done essays on this stuff in private school in grade 8. We were taking high school class English in grade 7 and 8 before we got here. And so she found grade 9 to be a breeze. And so quickly she was moved up into AP classes. And soon she became teacher's assistants. She became the assistant to teachers, which was another notch in her cap. Quite an interesting experience for her, to say the least. And so high school for her was a joy, a pleasure, somewhat of a challenge. She certainly had the right teachers to challenge her as AP teachers because they saw somebody who was a sponge. Give it to me. Give me all you got. I'll give it back to you. And so when she graduated, she had some huge hugs from a whole bunch of her teachers who were really proud of her. And she has since gone back to the school on occasional trips down south. She's revisited some of her teachers to say hi. And here is now a master's graduate from university, English master's graduate from university. So yeah, her former English teachers are very proud of her because they see that this kid is going to make it. And sure enough, there you go. But you have all the angst of high school and teenage years and all that stuff, as well as, life itself. But yeah, life goes on. What can I say? What do we got going here? Yeah, Coyote, private school kids are usually wealthy and have plenty of care and resources. Poor kids don't get the same luxury. We did still notice in the private schools, as you get older, as they got into that 7, 8 grade range, they weren't all perfect. There were issues. And sure enough, we found out as the years went by, we would hear about, did you hear what happened to so-and-so? Did you hear what happened to such and such? And it didn't end up in a bed of roses for everybody. Because when it's all said and done, you're okay for a while, but you move ahead on your merits and your work ethic and your honesty, your willingness to work with others. The character will eventually decide how you end up. And there were kids in private school that didn't do well. And here we are now. My daughter's 34. So all those kids that we saw in her private school are in their 30s now, and not all are winners. Some are doing incredibly well. I mean, incredibly well. Some are doing incredibly disappointingly not so well. It's interesting. DQ, I bought back my GameStop 2250s, but the second half of the roll didn't close. Options Nomads 102, last day in Paris, heading to Italy tomorrow. Right on, you guys. Well done. Thanks for throwing me a thumbs ups today. We have 107 of them now. Thank you, everybody, for these thumbs ups. Coyote, that said, I found that the most brilliant minds I ever met came through public schools, whereas many of the private school kids I found to be selfish and entitled. So last day of the week is now ahead of us. Only one time sleeping, and then it's getting interesting after the crazy last crazy 9 days of trading. And very judgmental, says Coyote. Deuce Caboose, if your daughter is soft or sweet and shy, that's my 3-year-old. Thankfully, she looks like my wife. My nose is crooked. Who cares, says just in time with the thumbs up. Thank you. Enjoy the day, folks. Untamed Viking. I got kicked out of public school 1 year. I was homeschooled and working on motorcycles for the local outlaw MC. They tested me when I came back, and I was able to do college level math in 6th grade. Right on. JR, Untamed Viking. Splair, all right, y'all. Good night. I'm out with number 106. Thank you so much, buddy. Deuce Caboose, Coyote, couldn't agree more. The wealthy should be charitable to the less fortunate, but that doesn't happen. Met with a client today, $400,000 AGI charitable contributions, $1,200. Come on, dude. Yeah, what can I say? We did see, I did notice that in the private school, they had to basically more or less pay their own way for the buildings and the property and all that. When they being a nonprofit organization, they of course got tax breaks like any other school would. But I got to tell you, the parents of that private school, there were those of us who just were able to pay the tuition for the kids, and then there were the others, the very high enders who were contributing to the school's future. And it was stunning how much money was raised and the fundraisers they put together, the backing they got. But you know what? You can only set the table. You can only set the table for these kids. And after that, they're on their own. Yeah, you can say that some of them get the golden handshake and they get hired by dad's firm and all that kind of stuff. But eventually the truth comes out and the reality comes out, whether they're going to make it or not. And I got to tell you, in a lot of cases, the parents of the children at the private school were ruthless in demanding results from their kids. They would give them every opportunity to learn, but they made them learn. They showed them what hard work was like because they didn't get born. They, the parents, were not born wealthy. They became wealthy in their working careers. These kids were, in many cases, reminded of the fact that you're not wealthy. I'm wealthy. You're the child of a wealthy person. That's it. You got to make your own grade when you get out. I'll help you get to the table. Now you have to learn proper manners and how to handle it on there. It was interesting watching it from another angle. It really was. Of course, high school and public high school was like anything else. I went to public high. My Jennifer went to public high school. Whatever. But this private school experience was an eye-opener for us too. It was really interesting. And yeah, there were some kids who were definitely coddled and babied, but they couldn't buy a good grade. That was the other thing about that private school. You couldn't buy a good grade, no matter how good your donation was to the school. Your kid didn't get a good grade handed to them because you wrote a big check. That was interesting at that school. Can't speak for any others, but that one I can definitely say. Back then. Anyway, there you have it. What else going on? Let's see. Coyote, Jesus, 1,200. We donated around that amount in 17 on a $55,000 salary. I think I've seen studies referring to that, how rich people are found to be less charitable, which is so strange. Coyote, but I guess no one gets wealthy just giving money away. I don't know. Karen, late to the party. I'm number 111. Thank you. Deuce Caboose, I have some clients that are considered middle to upper middle class, and they donate a ton. Oddly, they seem the happiest. They're the minority. Coyote, Deuce Caboose, I guess it's all a bell curve of money and happiness, and they're at the top of the curve. Well, like I say, it is what it is. I know that Vince Downey, the principal at my daughter's private school, at the end of the year, they would hand out awards and they would do recognition and all that sort of stuff. And he made a big point to single out people that really contributed to the school. And of course, he singled out some of the parents who made generous donations, but then he zeroed in on the people at the school, because he said to all the parents who were there and all the grandmas and grandpas and uncles and aunts and students, the people here have made this happen. And these are the people that have made this work for you. And without these people, there would be absolutely no school here whatsoever to be talking about. And then he zeroed in on Jennifer. And he said, and that lady right there is our #1 volunteer, and you all know it. And everyone gave her a huge applause, because they all knew how hard she worked for the school. She was always there. And many of the parents came up to her later, one-on-one, and thanked her profusely for all the volunteer hours. And the teachers were kidding with the principal, saying, we should hold our daughter back. We should hold Jennifer Jr. back another year, which will make Jennifer keep hanging around here, because they all knew what was going to happen. Jennifer was now going to go to high school. Jennifer Jr. and Jennifer were going to high school. And sure enough, Jennifer now was a volunteer at Palm Desert High School. And she was the volunteer of the year there as well, because of the amount of time she put in with all of these fundraising committees and events and you name it. And it worked out very well. So there you go. What you put in, you get back. It's the way it is. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for all your kind words today. It's great to see you. Nice to have you here. Let's see. I'm going to call it a day and take care of some other things I've got to look after today. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's session. We lost 7.5 points on the Dow today, down 12 on S&P, down 38 on NASDAQ. Oil down 365. We'll see if tomorrow the market takes another dip, or does it have a dead cat rally and then dip? What's going to happen? It's option expiry day tomorrow. Who wants to be long contracts with missiles flying all over Ukraine? I don't know. Stay tuned. Join me tomorrow morning. Let's see what happens. Thank you all so much for your support of this channel. Beach Boy, special shout out to you as always. Thank you, everyone. We will talk to you tomorrow morning, first thing. Let's make some money. Okay, guys, thank you. All the best. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. And thank you. Bye for now.